6 signs of a toxic boss. Namaste and welcome. As a manager, you have your team responsibilities and are in charge of the productivity of your team. However, if you have a toxic boss who demoralizes you, it can diminish your sense of belonging and well-being in the workplace. A Gallup study in 2022 found that many managers in middle management in India experience negative emotions, with 44% worrying, 50% stressing, and 18% feeling angry with their bosses. The 5 main causes were unfair treatment at work, an unmanageable workload, unclear communication, unreasonable time pressure, and lack of support. This is a recipe for burnout. So be aware. We first need to look for signs and find out if you have a toxic boss. Here are 6 signs that you may have a toxic boss. 1. Micromanagement. In today's advent of productivity apps like Slack, the micromanager bosses can start keeping an eye on the hour-to-hour activity of an employee and pull up an employee for even small gaps in work. Technological development of apps and other processes are to create systems that will make it easy for employees to keep to schedule. But a toxic boss can use the same technology to micromanage and annoy, even when you have proven your ability and accountability. Toxic bosses are controlling and lack trust. Sometimes the lack of empathy and not listening to you can make them cruel and sound like a bit of a bully. 2. Toxic bosses don't listen. If you have a toxic boss, all your feedback, suggestions, concerns will go unacknowledged. Such bosses are adamant that it is only their way that works and any other suggestions are not welcome. Your toxic boss may have traits of narcissism where they put themselves on a pedestal above you. With such bosses, where there is no upward communication, you as a middle manager lose out on valuable opportunities to learn and contribute ideas, and the organization suffers as processes are not regularly updated and improved. 3. They demotivate you. A toxic boss will typically make your job monotonous and boring. You will not get any new responsibilities and your work will not get recognized. 4. They will have double standards. A toxic boss may have traits of agreeableness and is too wishy-washy, having double standards of behavior to look very agreeable towards his or her seniors in their presence. Toxic managers will behave and act differently based on who's observing them. Around their own superiors, he or she will not display the demotivating, micromanaging behavior and show that they are democratic, open-minded bosses. This can be very difficult to deal with if you are in the middle management as a manager, as your avenues of going higher up with this toxic behavior complaint may go unaccepted. 5. Toxic bosses make you feel insecure. Physical and psychological safety is the most important aspect of workplace mental well-being. Toxic bosses make you as a manager feel unsafe about being able to speak up and raise your concerns, with a constant subtle threat of losing your job, which can result in depression and anxiety. It is important to understand the personality trait of neuroticism when trying to understand your toxic boss. Highly neurotic bosses take longer to relax after stressful events, and they are constantly worried about what-if scenarios. Remember that neurotic bosses are emotionally sensitive and experience negative emotions more frequently and intensively than their stable colleagues. 6. Toxic bosses have unreasonable expectations. Many bosses will demand extreme workload, fast turnarounds, and weekend work. Toxic bosses are ones that usually will set hard to achieve goals and create demanding, competitive environments so they can remain in control at all times. Employees and middle managers may be forced to work on days off and on weekends, which undermines the work-life balance and can have a serious impact on your personal relationships. Have you seen some of these signs in your boss? These traits in toxic bosses are avoidable to some extent, but in reality, if it is getting too much and affecting your mental well-being, it may be a good idea to find a new job within the company or outside it. Do you think your boss may be toxic? If so, then watch my video on 7 tips of dealing with a toxic boss to get some insights on how to be prepared for this work challenge. That is all for today. Hope you found this video useful. Please like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Take care, and as always, employee wellness leads to successful business. Thank you.